Before we begin this episode, I want to give a shout out to all of our patrons over on patreon.com/bitterbrownfams, especially Christian G, Evelyn P, and Cassandra G. Y'all's contributions really help this podcast exist. So if you want to keep seeing this podcast, go and support us on Patreon. The link is in the description. $1 gives you like access to a bunch of archive stuff. $5 gets you a video version of all the new episodes. $10 gets you a bonus episode. And yeah, after that you get shout outs and stuff like that. So check it out and support us. Let's start the show. All right, we're doing it live. Hello. This is Ruben coming to you from Portland, Oregon.
And this is Cassandra coming to you from El Paso, Texas.
And this week's recession indicator is that it was reported that at least half of the users online are bots at this point. So before they used to say that people they used to hire out like farming labs to do like clicks and stuff like in India. But now, the billionaires can't even afford that. So they're just using bots to make their sites look like they're getting a lot of visits, or in the case of Twitter, like there's a lot of engagement. But if you've been on Twitter in the last few years since Musk took over, then you can kind of tell like the quality of engagement is has declined exponentially, and that there's a lot of like check marks accounts of like people you've never heard of and just farming like engagement, oftentimes just talking to themselves. And that's because the billionaire class and these techies want their sites to look like they're very visited. Um, and that leads me to one of our topics this week about like basically it's essentially like gaming the system, the internet, and making it do your bidding. Recently, Jamie Lee Curtis's movie with Lindsay Lohan, The Freakier Friday, came out, and in the press, like all her interviews, Jamie Lee Curtis has been like, plastic surgery is a genocide against women. And just like everybody's like asking her about her day, and she's like, genocide against women is plastic surgery. And now, if you look up the words Jamie Lee Curtis and the word a genocide, only that comes out, her talking against plastic surgery. But all of that drowns out the fact that like Jamie Lee Curtis for like the last 2+ years has been getting called out for being a Zionist, most notably posting a picture of Palestinian children getting bombed and her saying like pray for Israel, and then when corrected never like retracted anything, and just doing Zionist shit like that, support like posting things in support of Israel. And so people have like linked the words genocide and Gaza and Jamie Lee Curtis for some time now, and I feel like she's trying to game the internet system. What do you think?
It makes sense, but I also am like, doing like, is she smart enough to do that? Or is she just she's also just very, I don't know what the word is, where you just be saying shit. You know what I
Oblivious?
mean? Yeah, like you're just, it could go either way. It
I
could be like a tactic, and maybe not even by her, maybe by her team, you know what I mean? To try to do that damage control, especially because of the movie coming out. Or it could just be that she just says things because she's just, you know what I mean?
Why would she use the word genocide though? Like, why can't she use like attack on women?
Hmm.
'Cause I don't think I've ever heard anybody saying like genocide against women, like
I don't know. I
plastic
don't put it
surgery.
past white women to just say shit like that though.
I mean,
Like
I,
white feminists specifically, who like just throw these words around. They don't know what they mean, you know?
somebody has had to school her enough to be like, hey, you posted this shit about Gaza. People are on the internet talking about this.
Mm.
Because she's also,
She had also said something about during like the fires that it looked like Gaza or something. Like also another statement that you're just like, bitch, what the fuck? Like why
Yeah.
would who is telling you to say these things?
Yeah. Her saying LA looked like Gaza. Oh my God.
So it's like she's always saying stuff like this. That's why I'm like, I mean, I could see, yes, like damage control and trying to change the narrative, but I'm also just like giving her too much credit for that.
The fires were this year too, huh?
Were they? I thought they
Weren't
were,
they?
it seems like it was last year.
Were they last
I
year?
don't even know. So much has happened.
I know. I feel like, yeah, like we just get it bombarded with
No, I think
news.
this was last year.
Was it last
Yeah, I
year?
think it was last year.
Oh Lord. Um, yeah, but celebrities doing and saying weird
So was
shit.
this year or was it
Told you.
January,
Oh my God.
January 7th to the 31st? Oh my God. Why does that feel like last year?
Yeah, 'cause it's been a year. We're barely in August. We're halfway through summer. Oh my God. And we're barely getting like a proper heat wave over here in Portland.
It's been so fucking hot here.
It's like 90 today, 95, and it was like 95 yesterday as well. And it's gonna be 96 tomorrow. But then by Friday, it's raining Friday, Saturday. Ah, this fake ass city. Um, but yeah, celebrities saying this crazy shit right now. Like Dean Cain, like was he the Batman in the 90s, right? Uh, he joined ICE in response to the Superman movie, quote unquote, being woke. Have you seen the Superman movie yet?
I haven't, but I've seen I wanted to see it at home. But then I just the time passed and then I got over it. Like I don't care anymore. I'm not a movie person. I've said that. But yeah, sorry, go on.
Um, I finally
Have
saw it
you
this,
seen it?
yeah, I finally saw it this weekend. It's like not like it's so funny to me that quote unquote woke just means like kind or fighting injustice. Like woke became such a dirty word for conservatives of like something undesirable. And then like the movie Superman, this latest one, essentially Superman stops like this rich country from bombing this like poor country like that was, mostly brown people. Um, and the rich country, you find out like is in alliance with like the billionaires, with like Luthor, essentially, right? Who are trying to take over that poor country to set up like essentially like a country for the billionaire class. And I'm just like this, if anything, this hit very close to home in like the reality of things because Trump has said like wanting to set up Trump resorts in Gaza and shit like that. Um, but like if the villains start looking like your heroes, then maybe you have to like rethink on what side of the party lines you're on.
You know he's Japanese.
Dean Cain.
Yeah, so Margaret Cho had commented about him and she was like, why would you join ICE and encourage people to join ICE when your ancestors were interned in World War II? You're Japanese, you're not even white. I know you, you're not even white. That's what
Oh
she
my
said.
God, girl, the minute.
I didn't know. Given I have not seen anything about this man and I didn't, you know what I mean? It's like he's on my radar or anything. So,
I feel
but
like I
yes.
knew he was Asian American, but is he? Oh my God. Um,
But it's also, I think, him playing Superman and like a lot of patriots are like, this joining ICE is their way of being that quote unquote superhero, that propaganda of like saving America against like the criminals, right? Which is bullshit. It's just like criminalizing immigrants, obviously, but like I feel like in his head specifically, like he really thinks that that's what he's doing.
Yeah. The funny thing that this movie did too is that like Superman, like, it's not that he doesn't see color, like he doesn't see like nationalities. So he actually gets in trouble with the American government because they're like, why did you save these people? Like, they're not American. You're supposed to defend like Americans. And he's like, because they're people. And he like makes it a point to like protect everybody regardless of where they're from. And there was a scene in where like he makes friends with like this hot dog guy that like sells him hot dogs as Superman. And like the Lex Luthor people like gather everyone that they see as someone close to Superman. And they gather this hot dog guy who's like this, brown, Middle Eastern coded person. And like threaten to kill him in front of Superman if Superman doesn't like do something for them or give them information. And like eventually they kill him in front of Superman and like he's like weeping for like a stranger who's a brown person essentially. And like you spend like a hot minute in like Superman's like grief there about this person who he's only interacted with a couple times to buy a hot dog. And it's just like if like a pro-immigrant message is like sending these people off like the edge, like you have to really question your values, right? Um, but the movie was great. It really, did something unexpected with a superhero movie. I've never been a Superman fan, but like this was interesting. You know, not something that I was prepared for. Yeah. Um, what else I haven't none of us could have been prepared for? The National Guards being sent to DC.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about?
Um, you sent me the news piece. Do you know why he sent the National Guard there?
So, and this just happened today, okay? I'm sorry. This is just from an article, but it said that he announced today, again, Monday, that he will invoke a takeover of Washington, DC, because it is being overrun by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals. Uh, oh, this is a direct quote from him. Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs, and homeless people, and we're not going to let it happen anymore. So he's claimed, yeah, like, I mean, there really isn't like, oh, something happened. Like, what he just saying that he's going to take control over DC, and obviously that just means criminalizing homeless people and displacing them again.
Yeah, I think like one of his like staffers got like attacked somehow recently, but I'm not entirely sure what the deal was with that. Um, and like the pictures of the staffer, suppose I think he got like stabbed on his way to his car or whatever. Like he looks like so like ketchup packets. He has like so much blood but no like wound. And so it's just been interesting to see that. Um yeah. And
So
oh,
so far it's like 800 um people that he's sending out. But it's like again, this
800.
just happened today and there's not like a clear like what are they going to be doing exactly, right? Like we can imagine what it's going to look like or again that they're going to criminalize and hurt homeless people ultimately, right? Like we know that, but there's not like a clear like plan or description of what does that mean exactly? What does that look like? What does that entail? Who
Yeah.
knows? But he did also threaten to expand his efforts to other cities like Chicago if crime rates are still out of control. So it is terrifying.
mind you, like statistics show that like crime has gone down in DC by like 30% since like 2020. So like this is a boogeyman essentially that he's making up so that to like instill fear in his base. And people are falling for it, right? They're And it's also like a question of like, okay, like there's homeless people in your city. What the fuck is the National Guard gonna do to homeless people other than terrorize them? Like, how does you bringing in a goddamn military to a city like get rid of the homeless like situation? Like all that money that you invested in, what you said, 800 National Guard members? Like, I'm thinking that has to be like a at least like an $800,000 endeavor. Like, what could that money have done to actually help these homeless people? Um, and again, it's never they never invest this money in homeless folks because it's never about actually getting them off the street. It's about criminalizing them. It's about how do we get them to become free labor in prisons, and how do we maintain this threat of homelessness to the general population so that they're always in line with capitalism. Um, yeah.
Exactly. And it goes hand in hand with what we talked about last week of his executive order to um, target unhoused people with mental illnesses, right? It's kind of like it goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah, like what is that supposed to do as well? And it's eugenics. At the end of the day, it's fucking eugenics. We have to remember that like in Nazi Germany, some of the first people that were uh imprisoned and killed were disabled folks, right? This is part of the same goddamn like strategy playbook. Um And if like the general population is so okay with like um militarizing their cities, like if they don't see pushback from this, then it's basically giving them the okay to continue being pieces of shit in this manner.
Hmm.
Oh, yes, mío. Um, so that is happening right now, as well as while they're sending the military off into DC. At the same time, in DC, the Secretary of Defense, uh, Pete Hegseth, uh, shares a video advocating for a ban on gay sex. Um, like how? I mean, there was. I also want to like this is funny. Like to like this is of course. I'm just gonna get out of my system. It's funny, but at the same time, there's been sodomy laws in effect until like the 2000s. So like this is like not it sounds ridiculous because it's like why are you worrying about the gay sex I'm having in my gay home? But it's happened before, right? Like this is how they got people arrested for cruising and shit like that and in bathhouses and um, this also leads to like anti-miscegenation laws, right? Where interracial marriage was banned. Like these types of things go hand in hand.
Yeah. It's like uh, you want to laugh. It's funny. It's ridiculous, but it's also just like this is where we're at. Because there's people that really would and do get behind that. Like,
Some loser who hasn't had gay sex in
it's
in
like, I
months.
don't, homophobes are so weird. It's like just the loser behavior. Like, why are you thinking about gay sex so much?
Yeah, like if you don't like
Like,
something,
why? Like, who is forcing you to do this? No one. So, like,
yeah. It's like I don't like horror movies. I try not to think about horror movies and I try not to engage horror movies. So I don't see them. So like if you don't like gay sex and gay people, why are you spending so much time thinking about these things?
Well, for a lot of them, we know why, but mhm.
And it's like, girl, just come out. Or like don't make your internalized hatred other people's problem.
Yeah. And in that, like related to that, this week, yesterday, no, today. Actually, this is
Oh my God,
another
everything is
headline
happening
from
today.
another article. It's Monday. Another article from today is that the Supreme Court has formally asked to overturn same-sex marriage ruling. So I don't know if y'all remember Kim Davis from like she's this goofy bitch from like 2015 who like went to jail for 6 days, and I think it was in Texas. Um, I could be wrong about, I don't know where this happened. Kentucky, sorry. She was the former Kentucky country clerk who was jailed for 6 days after refusing to issue marriage licenses to a gay couple on religious grounds. So I don't know if y'all remember, but I'm sure if y'all Google her name, like you'll see her and you'll be like, oh yeah. Because there's like this video that I always laugh when she was like freed from jail and there was like some like rally that they had for her and then she came out to like Eye of the Tiger and it was
Oh
just
my
like the
God.
funniest shit of my life. It was funny at the time. But anyway, so she's back. That she's pretty much saying that the Supreme Court needs to overrule that because she argues her First Amendment protection for free exercise of religion immunizes her from personal liability for the denial of marriage licenses. So, yeah, so like it's a petition that's gonna ask since 2015. And like obviously we don't know, they could just they've been ignoring her, I feel like all these years. But it's gonna go to the Supreme Court this fall.
My Lord. So, hey, gays, if your only issue ever was gay marriage and gay marriage equality, like, wake up.
I feel like that's like a big thing with like liberal gays that was like their end goal. Just like marriage equality, which again we talk about all the time. Like there really isn't marriage equality because disabled people, there is no marriage equality, right? When disabled people can get married without losing their benefits, for example. But yeah, just like gay marriage was like the end all be all, and that's I feel like it's just been stuck there. And obviously, I'm talking about liberal gays, because we all know there has been a lot of work being done over the years for queer rights and trans rights, but for the majority of them, that was the end goal, and then that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, like we
And I honestly
probably,
feel like if the people that were so concerned with marriage, same-sex marriage, equality, whatever, like, okay, yeah, like that's a win, sure, but like we're able to push past that and like put in effort to talk about like protecting trans people, queer people in so many other ways than just marriage equality. Like, I don't think it would feel so terrible right now. I'm not saying like this shit wouldn't be happening, these attacks on like queer and trans people, but there would be, you know what I mean? Like, it would be a bigger thing to talk about than just like, I don't know if that made sense.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, what does marriage equality mean in a place where trans people can't use, the right restroom and disabled people actually can't get married because they would lose life-saving health care? Um, in case you
Or
don't
that
know,
not even all queer people or gay people, trans people want to be married, right? Like, that's
yeah.
not the goal for everybody.
Yeah. The goal for some gay cis people is ultimately just like homo nationalism, right? Which is this notion that like gay people can be good citizens too and good representatives of the country, right? And this monogamous, like same-sex marriage trope is the only thing that separated so very many of them from representing like the image of nationalism, the image of a nuclear family, right? Never mind that like attaining that uh, is such a upper middle class like dream that a lot of us will never fulfill just by virtue of ability and class and race, right?
Hmm.
Just recently we saw the death of a notable like queer person in media, right? The one of the voices of King of the Hill, who was married, right? But he was also native and not protected from racism, right? Um, so what good was getting married and living out this middle class dream when ultimately racism is still undoing and ending a lot of people, right? So like this continued fight for marriage equality to me seems like such a champagne problem. Um, I understand all the benefits that it provides. It's one of the, for example, it's one of the, paths to citizenship for some people. Um, but we can't be putting all of our eggs in that basket, right? And so I don't,
And
I'm not very hopeful that gay marriage isn't gonna be rolled back, to be honest with you. I have a feeling that it might be left to one of those like states decide, like in the way of
mhm.
abortion, in the way that Roe v. Wade was rolled back.
I was gonna say something. Oh, that you mentioned, yeah, that for some it is a pathway to citizenship, and that's not even real now. For a lot of people, like a lot of, when you were able to petition for your relative to get citizenship or get residency, like it doesn't a lot I've seen so many stories of it doesn't matter if you're married, like they will still deport you. Or now they're like turning you away, like you are not able to petition to get your spouse citizenship or residency just by being married. Like a lot of that is just going out the window when it comes to immigration. From DACA to being married to like how long you've been here, if you have a work permit, like none of it matters. They're deporting whoever at this point. So it doesn't even protect you then.
Yeah, I'm remembering that like even okay, so if you are undocumented and you get married or whatever, you still like that begins the process of citizenship, like applying for stuff, and they're arresting people at their court dates.
Yes, I had saved a video. I was gonna bring that up of yeah, for example, like if I got married and I'm or have a relative and I'm petitioning for them to get their green card, usually like I'm legally allowed to do that and there's a process. And now it's like once you start that process, ICE is detaining these people that are trying to start the process of you know, getting their shit worked out. And they're showing up to these court hearings. And so like there are attorneys that are telling people not to do it now because of like it's just yeah, like I said with immigration right now, it like doesn't even matter. They're not even deporting people like if we're calling it that because for a lot of people they're not even deporting them to their home countries. They're deporting them to places they've never even been before. That's not deporting, that's just like human trafficking, abducting people and sending them wherever the fuck. Like it's not even deportation.
Yeah, God, that's wild. I mean, yeah, there's so many other things that eclipse marriage as such like a non-issue like when we get down to it. But before I move
Mhm.
on, is there an update on your friend?
Yeah, so right now there's not like an official update. We're gonna have like a Zoom check-in meeting. But for now, I would like to invite you all to follow Free Kata Now, and you'll have all the updates there because this really is, it's not just about like this person's my friend and this person has DACA, so they shouldn't be held. Like no one should be held. in these detention centers. No one should be deported. No, like no one should have to go through this. It doesn't matter if she has DACA or is an organizer or you know what I mean. But it is important to like note that this, Sochi is an organizer. She has been for years, since she was a teenager, and it feels very targeted, right? And she's not the only person who has been taken who has DACA. Like DACA people are under attack as well. There's not. I will give an update next week, but like for now, she's still being held in detention. Um, People have are in communication with her, have talked to her, have seen her. You know what I mean? And I talked to her on the phone on Wednesday, and obviously, it's like what am I supposed to say? Like she's okay. You know what I mean? It's like she's fucking being held in a detention center. But I mean, I think at this point it's just waiting for a court hearing and letting, kind of legal do their thing that we can't really speak on. But so far, community here has, been working together to see how to support and how to get her story out there by holding like there was a vigil, there's a petition, there's a GoFundMe. So those things are still like in the works, obviously, just to like not let her, just to that she knows that she's not alone, right? So, yeah.
I hope we get a good update next week. Um, so yeah, that wraps up our talking points. Did you want to add anything else before we go to the last segment?
Not not right now.
No? All right. What made you less bitter in the last week?
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I don't even know. I think like I had mentioned, there was a vigil last week, and there was like an amazing turnout. So I think just being able to hold that space outside the detention center was, even though it was like shitty, what I mean? It's like shitty, the situation is shitty, but it's also like community showing up.
Yeah.
So I think
Nice.
just seeing everyone here in El Paso and like just not El Paso, like I've seen like Chicago and Florida, like just everywhere kind of like sharing her story.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that.
Nice. Um, what's made me less bitter is being out in the sun and like roasting. And
What happened with your phone?
I fell in the
Uh,
river. I
I
got
know,
an,
but did you just get a new one?
yeah, I have insurance because I know my luck. So I always pay for phone insurance. So I just had to pay some money and thankfully like not full price. And they sent me like a refurbished phone.
Mm, okay.
Um, Yeah, I was texting Cassandra out of my computer. Hello, Rasquache. I don't even know if my phone number came up or my email, like she was getting texts from my email probably. Yeah, no, but I have a phone now, thank goodness. It feels refurbished. Like
Stop.
it like makes random clicking sounds and shit. I'm just like, oh my God. All my videos are like shaky because the camera is like weird. It's not the business, but I have a phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
And that is it, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. Hope to see y'all next week.
Yes, bye.
Bye. All right, before we go, I want to give a shout out to our I Know Her level patrons, and that is Fernando P, Selena P, Miranda E, Ronnie L, and Bianca G. If you want to get a shout out, join our Patreon, patreon.com/bitterbrownfems. The link is in the description. Bye, y'all.